BMX is a bicycle version of motocross. In order to succeed in this tough sport, the riders must possess razor-sharp reflexes, perfect technique and incredible strength. The races are short sprint races lasting no more than 40 seconds. Split-second timing and nerves of steel are key. For once the gate drops, the riders are faced with a daunting array of jumps and rollers, which are attacked at a ferocious pace. It is a sport at its most pure, tough, fast and brutal, which has seen it go from underground to Olympic sensation. On Silent Revolution, we take a look at the athletes who take part in this spectacular sport. This week on Silent Revolution, we travel to Braintree in Essex, which is the first national round after the recent World Championships, to see how the riders we have been following have fared on the world stage.
Basically, we had the Nationals at Perry Bar in April, and we didn't have an elite rider up until Perry Bar. We kind of struggled to get one, really, don't know why. It was kind of something that I was getting pushed on by sponsors to get, and luckily one of them just appeared and turned up at the race and said, "Oh, I like what you do, can I ride for you?" So it was like, yeah. We had asked him early on in the year, and he'd had a bike that he wanted to ride, and it was his dream bike, and he had the chance to ride it, so he was like, "Yeah, I'll have a go with it." And the bike was all right, but the deal attached to it wasn't as good enough as what he needs, because he's on the ODP, which is like the Olympic Development Programme. So he just wanted something a bit better, a bit more like management based. So I kind of look after him, like all these bits and bobs now. So all he really does concentrate on is riding now, which is what he wanted. So yeah, so we signed Trey a week after Braintree Nationals. We were a bit concerned about the bike and how long it would take him to get used to it, because he had a Euro round the week after. He got the bike delivered on the Thursday, went out to France, and did ridiculously well on it. You know, we thought he'd struggle a little bit, and because it's all new and it's different, and the geometry is different, and just how it works is, for a BMX, I know they look quite simple, but there's quite a lot of technology going on in there, and he got on really well with it. And then he went out and did another Euro round, did really well there, and they had the Worlds in Birmingham, which was the real big one, about 3 weeks after that. So he'd only had like 3 weeks on the bike, not a lot of track time really. Basically, you had to get 76 to qualify, and that's all he wanted out of 170 riders, and he got 42nd. And he was sat on the hot seat for a good length of time, because he was quite way down the rank, and so he went out quite early. And because he set such a quick time, it took a few riders to kind of like dislodge him and knock him off. And then he went through, and he ended up being the highest rank elite rider in the GB squad, which is, you know, for us is a good success story. 3 weeks on the bike, never rode it before, not had much time to really play on it. It's always been racing or training, and to do that on it is just remarkable. And yeah, he was on it last night, and just everyone just said he looks more comfortable, a lot more planted on it, and it suits him. So yeah, it's been quite good, and it was good that he came to us. And you know, when you have a rider like that, you know that they actually want the help, and they're going to work with you. And we brought him down on Thursday from Manchester. He stayed we put him in a hotel Thursday night, had a meeting with him and a catch up, and just to see what he needs and what we need, and just see if it's worked for what we've done so far. And then yesterday we took him to the local primary school, and he did a 1 hour lecture with the kids on like the impact that it's had on him. He comes from Peckham, which, you know, we know isn't the best part of the UK to come from, and like BMX has put him in a place where he probably never would have been, you know. So he was just talking to the kids and just explaining like how good it is, and keeps you off the streets, and keeps you off the Xboxes, and keeps you fit, and keeps you out the house. And so that was pretty good. So that was an hour yesterday we did, and then he did some practice yesterday here. So he's looking really good. So this is actually the first time he's actually been with us for a race, because he's done all the European rounds in the world, and he was part of the Great Britain squad. So he actually wasn't with us. So this is his first like race in the team area with the team pits and all the other riders. So no, he's getting on really well. He's pretty rapid, which is really good. So yeah, no, it's just a success story that's kind of worked really well for us. So. Well,
before, at the beginning of the year, I got offered by Dave and stuff, but I was already on team with Groove, and I already got offered by Groove, so I said yeah, that I'll go with them. But it wasn't like a contract thing, or just that to help me out. But like, at the time, like I felt like I needed a bit more help, and like, Groove might not be able to do that because it's like a small company, and he's just Mark just doing it for himself, like a nice guy and stuff. But I didn't think he had like what I was asking for. I didn't think he had like would be able to do it. So I went and sat with my dad and I said, like, what should I do? And Identiti was like one of the first choices, and yeah, they had a lot going and stuff, and I just went and asked and spoke to Dave and see if he could offer me anything, because like I was doing like quite a lot at the time. I came from America and stuff like that. Just came back from America, Norway, and like just races and stuff. I need a bit of help and stuff like that. So yeah, just a bit more help. So Dave offered me a place in the team and a bit more help. So that's why I moved on to Identiti. The Worlds of Birmingham went great for me, I think, because time trial wise I made it through on 42nd, and that's my first time trial I've ever made it through so far. So that was a big thing for me. That was my aim, to make it through. And then racing, I think that went really well as well. I only I missed out by 1 point, but like, I was on the gate with like a couple of legends of BMX, let's say, that Olympic silver medalist Mike Day and stuff like that. So it was nerve-wracking, but at the same time exciting. So just being able to race with them in my home country, and even mix in with the race and getting like fourths and stuff, it was good. In the first one I took a crash, and in the next two I got 2 fourths, and I went up by 1 point. That's how it is. Just my first year in elite. That's my first big race of making it through, and I think I did pretty well. Obviously the main aim is in 4 years, 2016 Olympics, and then obviously I'd love to still ride my bike after that and just keep going, but still, yeah, I've still got quite a few years ahead of me. Like, everyone come from different backgrounds, but I think that's where speaking to that people, I don't know, me maybe, helps. They find it quite interesting, because I did come from like Peckham and stuff like that, and people see that as, you live in Peckham, it's a rough area, or like in London, the middle of London. So like background-wise there, growing up, I didn't know enough about BMX, that whereas maybe they would ride around their BMX out that. And I didn't used to ride at all. Like, there was nowhere to ride. It's in the middle of London. So yeah, background-wise, for little kids to grow up on BMX, like I kind of managed to get into it with my little brother, and he's 10 times British champ. So growing up and just keeping the focus into BMX, yeah, it just keeps you focused, and you've got something to aim against. You don't have to drift in wrong directions, because it is easy to drift off. And
you know, we never thought one of our bikes would go that quick. You know, we got some fast riders, and you know, we thought that was like the kind of limit to what the bikes would do. And then you put someone at Trey's caliber on it, and it's just another art form, that is. Jake just found it hard. He's only a young guy, and he's like quite a small guy in his age group, and just pressure got to him a little bit, and just he got out in the motos. I
got through to the 8th. I got all seconds in my motos, and then I got a bit tight in my 8th, got 5th, almost got 4th in the line, but I was a bit unlucky, so hopefully I can do better next year in New Zealand if I'm going. When I got back from the Worlds, it made a big impact on me. I just started training a lot more, and all round I feel stronger and a better rider, so I think it'll help a lot more. At the end of the series, I'm going to try and race up for a bit more competition, so hopefully that'll help me as well.
Pete had a massive crash, knocked himself out, didn't have a clue where he was for 3 days. He was in a pretty bad way. Basically went to Manchester last weekend just as a training race, just to see if he was fit enough to race, because we weren't too sure. And then he went in the 25 plus category. Bear in mind Pete's like 41, and he beat him. So we were like, hold on a minute, you're only meant to go there just to see if your head was all right and you were good enough to get to race speed, and he just went out there and beat everyone. So kind of like said he was okay for this weekend. So we got that. Oggy was winning cruisers, just had a crash, just, don't know, saw the finish line, saw no one else in front of him, had a bobble, crashed where Pete crashed, smashed his head, and, you know, had a bit of a broken ribs and stuff like that, so that was not great.
Pretty terrible. Terrible to the point I don't even want to talk about it. But I rode BMX on Saturday and had a pretty good day. I made semis, so I was quite happy with that. And semi didn't go my way, but you know, that kind of happens. And then I rode cruiser on Sunday. Skipped practice because practice were like ridiculously early, so I skipped practice, and first lap were like a warm-up lap. I got second in that, and then I won the next 2. And then the 8 was next. I got 4th in that, which was a little bit disappointing, but you know, it's 4th qualifying, so it was good. Quarters, I was 6 in the last turn. I was like, oh no, I'm going out, and I jumped the last straight, really smooth, past 2 people, and made it to the semis. But then I had an outside gate pick for the semi-final, which is not where you want to be. You want to be more on the inside. Managed to get across from gate 7 into third in first turn. Came into the second turn and came out first, so I was, oh, great, you know. And then third straight, perfect. Last corner, you know, looked up at the finish. I was, oh, mint, you know, I'm leading a world semi, you know, going into the final. Gate 1 pick for the final. And 2 jumps in, I went over the handlebars and crashed and broke 2 ribs. Oh, yeah, to say I was disappointed is a bit of an understatement, really. And I said to myself, you know, calm down, don't go, you know, don't go flat out, just take it nice and easy. Took it nice and easy, and for some reason there was like a step up, and back wheel just kind of lifted, and it just threw me over at bars. But the straight is it's identical to the Manchester last straight, and I've rode that, you know, hundreds of times before, and I've made mistakes on it before and rode out of it, you know, no problem. And just that one time, it just spat me off. So really disappointed, to be honest.
So the main success story for the Worlds was Joey and Trey. They were the top ones for us. But it's good that, you know, we didn't have anyone particularly that we wanted to do well. If anyone did well, we were fine.
Yeah, we got Mia Wallace. She done well in practice, like the track. Real big shame for her because she was really hoping to get to the final, and there was big expectations for her. Done her practice, done really well in her practice. Went out in the first race. I think she was third. Yeah, she was third. Come around the last corner, last jump. Unfortunately fell off and broke her wrist. Really gutted she was, really gutted. Purely just for her own expectations and where she wanted to go for the Worlds. Yeah, it's one of those, you know. Yeah, Lucy done really well. Obviously, for both of the girls, it was their first Worlds. You know, big experience. Didn't really know what to expect. Lucy done really well in her practice, liked the track again. She got a 5th, a 6th, a 5th and a 4th. She got motoed out, but it's all experience. She enjoyed it, you know. More experience that she gets, the better she's going to get. For Chris, I think the last time he done World Championships was 2003, so it was sort of like a bit of a new experience for him again. But yeah, he got to the 8s, going really well. He had a slight off in his practice, but you know, he was okay. Chris is a experienced sort of guy. He knows what's what, you know, and he know what he had to do. And his category that he rides in is properly stacked with like ex-world elite champions, you know. So he done okay. You know, he got to. Obviously, he wanted to get to the final, but you know, it's one of those. So yeah, he went out in the 8s.
I have 3/4 in my moto and into 8th finals. Fortunately, I was 7th, so that was day over for me. I expected to get motoed, so I got further than I expected, so I was quite happy, to be fair.
Kieron, again, from when he had his accident, probably, before Christmas, qualified for the Worlds. Expectation level was just sort of do as well as he can do. On his 20-inch, he had a little bit unfortunate in his semi-final, and he unfortunately got knocked out in his semi, come 5th. Obviously, you need top 4 into the final. But on his cruiser, because he rode his 20-inch, he got a lot more track time and you know, that sort of thing. So he's sort of a little bit more into it. On his cruiser, he rode really well, really well. Got to the final, and that's it. That's what it's all at. You get to the final, that race, finished 5th in the final. Had a little bit of luck, but he finished 5th. He was world number 5 already, and he's still new world number 5. absolutely stoked. He was really, really happy, and you know, that's all he wanted to do really, was keep his wheel plate, and he's done it. So yeah, really happy.
Yeah, it went well. First 2 days of practice went pretty well. Like the first one, just getting used to the track really, not really going that fast, just getting used to the jumps, and I have to jump all manual certain jumps as well, getting used to the gate, the speed of it. Day 2, stepped it up a notch, pretty much up to race speed. And then, yeah, it went well from there. So I turned it on pretty fast, really. I mean, when I look back at it, it's 2.5 months. Sounds a lot, but competing terms, it's very little, really. Especially coming from doing nothing to being injured to competing at the best race in the world. So it's my first year of full BMX anyway. But since I've come back from my injury, I've just felt a lot stronger on and off the bike, and just a bit more time on the bike since I've been back off my injury. And I am actually faster than I was last year, so it's all going good now, really.
And I'm happy for all the team, really. They're riding really well. You know, it's a big experience for them to go and ride at a World Championships. To even qualify for a World Championships is a massive, massive feat.
It's the other elite men moto heading down that first straight. Coach B, Marcus Bloomfield, leading his charges into turn number 1. 50 extra press-ups for the guys if they don't. Marcus 1 and 2. That looks like Kelvin Beattie in there in 3. Bowers in there in 4. We've got Jack Hall in there as well, and Kieron McAvoy. Coach B, Marcus Bloomfield in there in 1. Trey's got underneath Kelvin and giving him a nudge. So it's Marcus, Trey, Kelvin, 1, 2, 3. Bower and Hall. Kieron McAvoy bringing up the rear.
The team did really well. I mean, for a lot of them, it was the first time actually racing a World Championships or an international event, so they did really well. Was watching them practice, and they all looked confident and seemed to be enjoying it. Dominic Dominic made it to the last 64. Robert made it to the last 64, and Libby, she made it to the semi-finals where she crashed. Actually, all 3 of them crashed. So yeah, it wasn't successful in terms of results, but I think in terms of experience, it was a really good thing for all of them. My ultimate goal of making the Olympics kind of went off in the third moto. There was 3 of us going for the last qualifying position, and I was in 4th qualifying. I had the spot, and the Dutch rider who was also going against me, he kind of came on the inside, and we both crashed. So that ended up leaving me 5th overall in that kind of qualifying heat. And in terms of the Olympics, that put me as the 8th best on the day of the 23 countries that were going for the 7 remaining spots. So, like I say, there were 7 spots, and I finished 8th out of those countries. So it means at the moment I'm kind of first reserve if anyone gets injured, which would be a bad thing. Obviously, I don't really want to qualify that way, but you know, there's still the smallest little bit of hope that I go. But to be honest with you, I think that's it now. For me, like now, it's about kind of getting on my bike and the whole serious aspect of it all. In terms of if I miss a training session, it won't really matter as much to me anymore, because now it's about enjoying it and doing it for the love of it, not because I'm trying to get to the Olympics or trying to win a title anymore. Like, end of the day, I'm a school teacher and work full time, and that's kind of where I'm going to put my efforts in. And I just got married a few months ago. Maybe start a family and also look after the team a bit more. Like, I haven't been able to put as much effort as I wanted into the team over the last few years, just because I've had to focus on my own kind of side of things. But now, kind of, I can take a step back and focus a bit more on the rides in the team, and hopefully build this Route 55 team up on and off the track. Yeah, today I'm in the elite category, so the same class as the Worlds, but obviously there's going to be less competitors today. I'm not sure how many are actually in it today, but I think we're going to have 3 qualifying races and then it'll be straight into the final. So the qualifying races are pretty much like semis today. So just got to stay consistent, keep in the top 4, and then it's a one-off race in the final, and anything can happen. Just got to get my head right and see what I can do. Time trials is like a new aspect to BMX racing. It's just coming in the last few years, and some people like it, some people don't, because it's not your normal BMX racing, because that's what they say, it's BMX racing, not BMX time trials. But anyway, it's here and it's looking like it's here to stay. So yeah, it's where you get on the gate on your own, you pick whichever lane you want, and you just go from start to finish as fast as you can, your best time, whatever time you get, and then you get ranked according to your time. So, and that's pretty much it.
First semi with 10-year-olds, Brooks with a snap at a moment. Who's in the mix? 4 played in the second spot. Connor Cashley looks like Maha in there as well. But Brooks for Intense Route 55 flying at the moment. In the 4th qualifying position at the moment looks like Harvey Howard out of Preston. Howard hanging on the 4th. As they come out of the last corner, going out of the last straight. Brooks like taking the win. Hunt going to be in 2. Going to be tight for 4th.
Well, I've got 2 brothers from Preston, Alex and Ryan Brooks, both won multiple national and British titles over the years. And these 2, as well as the others that I mentioned earlier, they went to the World Championships in Birmingham. Both did really well. Fortunately, Alex had a crash in one of his qualifiers, so didn't make it through. But, sorry, Alex made it through to final. Ryan, he had this crash in the qualifiers. Alex made it through to final and ended up with 7th after getting to the front down the first straight, crashing on the second jump. He could have had a chance of winning the world title, but rode well and made us the team proud. I'm sure his parents, he did himself proud as well. So really proud to have them both on the team.
It was a really good event. I just got out of motos, really proud of myself. But then I got to the finals and I just couldn't believe it. And I was just like, I did better than last year in Denmark. So,
well, it was like shocking with all the people and audience there. But like when you're on the bike racing, you just forget about it and you're in zone racing.
I went to race a 4-cross in Fort William, it's like a world round. I did a practice, all went fine, did the next practice and had a little bit of a trip over the bars. Winded myself, broke my hand, done the ligaments in my shoulder and that was the end of that. So I'm kind of out for a few weeks. Well, it's 3 weeks for the break in the hand, and then I'm just going to see how my shoulder is then. But I can't really tell with the ligaments. I can't really tell how long it's going to be. But it's not like mega painful, but it's painful when I'm holding onto my bike, like in that sort of, like in that respect. Like at the moment, I'm not too bad now, but when it comes to riding a bike, it's a different story. So it's going to take a bit longer before I can actually ride BMX again.
Well, I went out in the quarter-final, but I did like everything I could, and it was my first year in elite women, so they were obviously just too fast for me at the minute. In the motos, I got 2/3 and a 4th, which was okay because the people were really fast, and it was just a good experience in this country and stuff, and I had a great time. I think it's been really good, and I've got faster as the years gone on. And it's all just experience, really, like getting on the gate and lining up next to those fastest women. It's more getting used to it because you look up to them like all the time when you're racing, then you're on the gate with them. Yeah, well, because you're always chasing, it's obviously going to make me faster. So hopefully in the future I'll be beating them and then I can thank them for making me so fast.
Championship female hit the track, and who's got the snap? It's looking good for Red Bull, Shanaze Reade. Shindog out there leading them on out of turn 1. So Reade and the 2 spot, that looks like EA Pure Charlotte Green. So Red Bull and EA Pure, yeah. The 2 girls at the front jumping their way down. And in the 3 spot, that looks like Zebrakova. Zebrakova looking good in 3. Looking like Aisha McKellen, but Shanaze Reade wraps it up with the win.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a great year. It's obviously the Olympic year, so everyone's stepping up a level and, you know, going into the World Championships, everything was going pretty well. I had a pretty major crash going into the event, but kind of swept that under the carpet, got on with it, went into the Worlds, got second in the time trial, which is a great platform to work off. Went into the next day, won all my heats, went into in the quarterfinals, leading that, went into the first corner and just washed out. And that's what BMX is, you know, it can be unpredictable. It's kind of a bit of a lottery every now and then that, you know, are you going to stay on, are you not? And yeah, it adds to the excitement of BMX. Go to the Olympic Games, you have 16 women. Yes, they are the fastest 16 women. That's, you know, that's races BMX. But at the same time, the hard part about BMX, and you've seen it at the Worlds with me, is going through them rounds. I went out in the quarterfinals winning. At the Olympics, you have 3 heats and then straight into the finals. So it's a lot less racing and a lot less women to go through. So, you know, the French may have 4 top women going into the Worlds, but only allowed to take the top 2 fastest they've got. So yeah, the Worlds is definitely a lot harder. I love it because the reason, you know, it all starts with grassroots. I mean, you don't ever forget that. And I came through these nationals, I came through the regional events, and to come and people be interested in me and what I've done, it's kind of, I still feel like I'm one of the kids thrashing around on a BMX bike, which is great because it still gives me that buzz and excitement every time I get on my bike. But I think it's important that, you know, like, there's the figureheads of our sport, because in tennis you've got your Federers, and, you know, when you Formula 1 you've got all these people. But in BMX it was kind of faded. There wasn't that much of, you know, the role model, so to speak. So if I can be one of them and, you know, help a young girl, young guy come through the ranks and to know they can get to the top, then that's fantastic for me. It's not like I've come from a wealthy background or, you know, ever anything hands on the plate. I mean, I started off when I was 10 years of age, and, you know, like, my granddad would give me 100 quid for the bike when I first got my bike, but then I'd get, like, the club volunteers would help me go to different races because my family couldn't afford to go. I'd swap bike parts for, you know, like bits of toys I had at home, and it was just like a real, like, I don't know, I can't explain to you what it is about BMX. And I had so much energy, and I was always a determined person, that when I did BMX I could express my energy, and my determination I had. There were 7 other people on the starting line, and I just wanted to beat them. And the adrenaline rush that you get from the sport, you know, you jump in big jumps, you know, you go and travel in the country at such a young age, and then on to travel in the world, and I didn't think any other sport offered that. Yeah, I mean, it's cheap. I mean, like I said, when I started, to get a good race bike, I paid 100 quid, and that was cheap. I mean, you don't have to start with, you know, you can save up your pocket money or whatever, but hire about bikes. I mean, my very first time I went on was £1 for a bike and a helmet, hired that out, tried it out at a taster session, and you can do that as many times as you like. If it takes you a year to save up, you know, 100 quid, then you can get it at the end of the year. But I think you should never be put off from BMX. You know, some people think with the crashes and this, that and the other, but it's just such a great sport. I think, you know, I recommend it highly to anyone. I mean, you get just the families. I mean, if you look at them all around, they've got the little kids, the toddlers, they've got the dogs with them. It's just a really nice sport. I mean, you can go to I went to an athletics event, for example, and it seems very regimented, very strict, and people keep themselves to themselves. But with BMX, it's more of a, you know, they come up, pitch a tent up, pay a couple of quid, camp for the weekend, pack it away, on to the next race, and that's a nice thing about the sport. I'm very positive, but in the correct way, because I went into the last games like, I've got to win, and I couldn't see any other result possible. That was it. And this event and this Olympic Games is in the home country. I want to be able to step away when I'm 26, 27 and go, I really enjoyed that Olympic Games, and not come away going, oh, like, I wish I would have done this, or I wish I was better prepared. I want to go in just solely the purpose of enjoyment, and also, you know, getting that process right, doing the correct things, the basics, getting them all right. And I think regardless of the result, as long as I can go in, give it my best, enjoy the event, you know, lap it all in, and just be, you know, proud to represent the country, I can't ask for anything more. So that's my philosophy, and that's what I want to do.
Ben Martinez, the world number 4, did himself proud in Birmingham. His adopted C. Homans is in there in 2, and Gabardelli in 3.
It was an amazing event. I think it was kind of the achievement of my life in terms of what is BMX for me. I was looking for a final, and I got a final. So then in the final I did 4th. So I'm really, really happy with the world number 4 number plate now. It was in my age group, which is 30-34 years. It's a very tough group because it's kind of the break points between the super quick guys, which are probably elite or not elite, which are in their 20s, and then you become 30 and you decide, okay, shall I keep doing elite or not? And then you jump into that group, which is not elite, but it goes pretty quick. So I'm really, really happy with that. Well, I do it until my body cannot take it anymore. I will never stop. BMX is in my blood, you know. It's just a bug we have, and we just cannot stop. So I just keep riding in the best level as possible, as my work allows, as my life allows. So, yeah, there's no limit, you know. Well, I would say, first of all, we all know that the British Federation is a big federation. It's a powerful federation with massive structures to support their riders at every level, beginners, I mean novice, and then probably like when you are a challenger, you become an expert, you become junior, and you can become elite, and they support you all the way. So it's a massive federation. So of course you will get the levels you deserve when you are in this country, when you are part of that group, that BMX environment with so many riders, which is increasing nowadays. So yeah, I think everything is down to the level of competition we have here, because we have regionals almost every week. We have the nationals. If there's not a regional, there's a local race. If it's not a regional in your region, you can go to another region. So there is always every single weekend a race, and not just a small race, a good race. So BMX is about racing. It's about competition, about having the rhythm to be there, about losing the fear of your rivals. So when you have all this with you, it's just automatic that you increase your level. And in UK, yes, there is a lot of people with a lot of talent, good level. And as BMX became Olympic, I think they realized that they could make a dream of BMX, of a high-level sport as a BMX rider. So I think this is pushing everything to the sky, to be honest. And you can see the results now in the world, probably 10 or more riders in different ages with world number plates. This is a big achievement, to be honest. Riders that are here probably don't realize how lucky they are to be part of this federation and this environment, which is not the same in other, even European countries.
This could be absolute chaos. We are right now. They're both looking quick, neck and neck down this first straight. And you want to go through?
Runoffs is when you got two riders equal on points after 3 motos. They were tying for 8th place, so there's only 8 people that can get into the final. Scott and Jack both, like I said, tied, and had to have a runoff, so whoever won that runoff got to the final. So they've taken the last spot, and it was Jack that got it, so he did really well.
Yeah, pretty well. Jake's got a clean sweep, so 3 firsts. He's unbeaten at the moment. Yeah, France is when he went abroad and doing the Worlds, it's just a different beast. It works differently. You know, you're riding with a lot of people you don't know. You know, and like here, he's rode with these quite a lot, so he kind of knows who to look out for and who not to look out for, and who does the sneaky tricks and who does the dirty tricks. But when you're like abroad and that, you don't know. You just got to react like within a second of what's happening. And you know, he's just more comfortable here. Like France, he couldn't use clips. He had to use flat pedals, and he hadn't used them before. So it's basically trying to do a race with 1 pedal on your bike. It's so like not normal for him. He had to get his head around that, and then the Worlds was just, I think it was just overwhelming. You know, he's so many people in GB tops, and he was part of the talent teams. He was staying in a hotel, and he was kind of kept in a hotel until he had to ride. But he's 15, he wanted to go out and play, and you know, but they would only like bring him literally out of the hotel when it was his time to ride. And you know, his dad got injured as well, so that kind of played on his mind quite a bit. So, and he had a big crash on the Wednesday, so he had a proper like over the bars moment and bashed his head pretty hard. And then his dad did the same as well, and I think it just knocked him a little bit. I think he wanted to go home, so he's kind of just keen to get it done and get it over with and get it sorted out. So Pete's got 2 firsts. Trey is just about to go on his last one now, so he's had 2 seconds. Oggie's had 2 seconds in the first in cruiser. Michael's had a 3rd and a 5th. So yeah, it's not too bad.
Yeah, well, I lack in confidence sometimes. So from the beginning, it's very low. But like you said, the further on it gets, my confidence boosts, and then I start doing a lot better. And then obviously your skill and your power and things like that come after. From the start to now, I feel like I've got a lot better, which generally tends to happen. Gradually, I get better and better during the year. I get stronger, and now I've just really got to mentally get focused and do my best.
It takes up your life. I mean, you're away most weekends, you're training through the week, you're riding through the week. So you've got to pretty much give a lot of things up, but it is worth it in the end, because when you do well, you feel so good about yourself and you enjoy it. So to me, I'm happy with giving things up. Yeah, I enjoy it.
Here we go, people. Quillen is the Northern Bikes out in the lead. Gets in there as with the 2 for Haro. It's all about the 3 and 4. It's so fast coming through there. But going down. Okay, let's just take it down a little and build ourselves up for the elite men final. It may be raining, people.
I'll be fine. I manualed the jump, started pedalling out of it, and obviously that just sent me straight over the back, and then I landed on my back. I'd have carried on as well, but I've got a flat tyre, so I'll be fine. There's always tomorrow, isn't there? I'll be back. I'm in pain.
Masters A finals in the mix. Oh, we lose 2 riders. There we go, Simon Owens out of the dark fights. In the mix, like a box of tricks. Owens pushing it all the way through the rim section. We look like, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a new winner this season in the Masters going down the last straight. Owens and in, he's gone through. Simon Owens nodded off. We'll wait to hear about that. And these 2 guys, my hat goes off to you. You took out the chief referee.
Just riding cruiser today. So I'm still a bit bust up from the Wales crash and broke 2 ribs here. Got a bit of muscle damage because ribs have like got loads of muscles and stuff in it, so they're all pretty beat up. So just man it up today and get a few points for the team and for myself because I'm leading the national series at the moment. So get out of here with a few points and you know, heal up and ready for Derby, I think next one is, and then come back strong for there and then race BMX and cruiser again there. So I'm giving BMX the rest this weekend, so be annoying to watch, but you know, if I'm not 100%, then you know I can't race 100%, and you know I don't want to make the numbers up, you know, when I'm here to win, you know. But we'll man it up this weekend and then see where we go from there.
35-39, the guys are go heading towards turn number 1. Oh, who's been bounced all over the place, but I do know he's struggling after that crash in the world. But it's Super Mario Prezi out there in front. Look at Damien Meade on a turbocharging 2. He's just hanging on, but came on quick. Ryder going underneath, I think that might be Nick Hill. So let's have a quick look. Super Mario Prezi, Damien Meade, the 25, working his way through. 26, that's Scott Davidson. Mario Prezi takes it. Damien Meade, a super result in 2.
I tried to pull up for the, you know, the first jump. I couldn't even pull. I was like, I got a really good gate. I thought, and I got to there and I tried to. It just didn't.
Just too much.
It didn't pull at all, and it just went all over the place, and then just went peaked on from there. So disastrous there.
Yeah, but I mean, you are riding with 2 broken ribs.
Yeah, I don't know. Still.
You know,
I like it. I don't know. It's just annoying. I rode okay in the motos and that, and you know, and
just finished my 3rd moto. I've had straight wins today, so it's going pretty well, really. Feeling good.
3 straight wins in the cruiser.
Yeah.
So basically that's the final now.
Yeah, definitely. That's straight to the final, and I want to take 1st place in that as well.
How's the BMX win going now?
I got a 5th and a 6th. Not great, but I made a mistake. I've made a mistake on both of them. On my first moto, I twitched on the gate before it dropped because the compressor switched on in between the gap, so I thought the gate was going to go. And then on my last one, I just got boxed out into the first turn, so it's just pretty hard playing catch up in the elite because everyone's fast, everyone's on the same pace, and it's hard to gain any more speed to pass. So got my weight cut out in elite. But next year, my main goal's to be like a top 8 elite rider in the country. So I'll probably stop racing the cruiser as much at nationals, perhaps just do like the European and the World Champs, and just focus on the 20-inch in this country in the elite.
Yeah, 17-29, McAvoy looking like he's got the snap. But Potter and Cutmore there on his tail. The local boy Pseudo's on the charges row in the mix. And as they come out of turn number 1 is Chris Potter and McAvoy. Oh, they're elbow to elbow. McAvoy, and Cardall's coming around the outside. Here comes Cardall. So McAvoy needs to keep it together because Cardall, the local boy's on his tail. Here's McAvoy, Cardall, here he comes. Oh, it's getting close. McAvoy looking good though. He's going to take it down to the line. McAvoy, Cardall, corner, 1, 2, 3.
Started off okay, and then I went a little bit too wide in the first turn, so it let the guy in second place come underneath me. So we were banging bars and elbows down the second straight, but showed him his boss and got in first, and that was it really. Won it from there.
Here we go, championship winner Shanaze Reade is out of that game in front. They don't call her Speedy Reade for no reason at all, because she came out of the gate like she'd been shot out of a cannon. Shanaze is in there in 1, Abby in 2, Charlotte in 3, Valerie in there in 4, Aisha in 5, Bethany in 6, Bethany in 7, Angelica in 8. Got Shanaze Reade heading towards that final turn. She's there in front. Shanaze Reade, the Queen Bee of British BMX. She's going to take that win. Abby for 2, Charlotte for 3, and a stellar ride for Valerie Zibrakova in 4.
I've had a second, and a first. So straight finals. There's only like 11 or 12 of us in our age, so we've got straight finals to go through. I am feeling pretty confident, but it's just, don't know, it's racing. You never know what can happen, so just keep it in myself and just see what happens when I get across the line.
Here we go, we lead men heading down the straight. Tre White for turn and a half. Blooming's on his back wheel. Hill's in there as well. Do not blink, ladies and gentlemen. These are the fastest guys we will ever see. Trey just hanging on. Blooming in 2, Hill in 3, Strickland in 4, Madison in 5. Well, you know Blooming's got the skills in turns and in rhythm section. Oh, elbow down. Cardall's left, right and centre. Takes it, Cardall in 2, and Don Brown gets a birthday present in 3.
They weren't going to pass Trey there, unless he like proper stuck him up, you know, on T-board him, which should have been disqualified for, so there was no way we were going to pass Trey there, but he just wanted the second place points and obviously second place money, so you know, he went in and took it and put the guy over the berm, which was quite funny. That's the way elite racing goes. When there's money on the line, hope goes. All the rules are out of the window. He's been training hard, and I know we've sorted his bike out now, so his bike's like 150%. You know, it's everything on it's what he wanted. It's how he wanted it to be set up. So you know, he's got no issues there. You know, and the kit's all good. So you know, he gets on the gate and he's just 100% focused. He don't have to stress about his bike not being so good or whatever. You know, he knows his bike's there and he just does what he does and goes fast. He's definitely, well, he's got more potential at the minute than the rest of the guys, and he's proved it today. So, you know, he's won today, and, you know, there's 3 or 4 guys in there on the same programme as him, and he's beating them. So I kind of suggested to put him on the team, but then I spoke to his dad and just went from there, really. So, yeah, I think he'll go all the way. Hopefully 2016, we'll be up there in the Olympics. Doing better than what we have at the minute, so hopefully.
That's all for this week. You have been watching Silent Revolution, the world's biggest BMX show.